Hey folks, welcome into Casting Your Marketing Net. I am Peter Richon with Richon Planning and with Richon Media. I have been a duly licensed advisor for 5 years and insurance licensed planner for going on 15 years. I have been producing financial call to action responsive radio programs for the better part of 20 years. And that was my background, and that's how I actually got into this industry. And today we are going to be talking about casting your marketing net, making the biggest impact, imprint, and impression with your marketing possible, and utilizing radio broadcasting, AM, FM radio show, or the newer iteration and the newer version of podcasting. A little backstory. I want to tell you why I'm so passionate about radio and why I know it works effectively. As a young boy, as a child, I moved to a new state. I was about 8 years old and moved to North Carolina. Didn't really know anybody, didn't have a whole lot of friends, but what I did know is that my favorite songs were being played on the radio. So I used to call up the radio station almost on a daily basis and ask if I could guest DJ the next song or an upcoming song. And I would sit there with my tape deck and I would record the radio, and then I would edit the tapes back and forth. And after a month or two, I had a whole tape of me being a DJ on the radio. Flash forward 35 years, and I still have a relationship with radio. And I know a lot of people, a lot of individuals have a relationship with their radio. They listen to their radio intimately, one-on-one, in their car, on their drive to and from work. They talk to their radio talks to them. They yell at their radio. They call into their radio to participate in programs. And especially talk radio show listeners are a very loyal, interactive, active audience. And they tend to be affluent, higher income earners. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about how to make an impact in your marketing utilizing radio and podcasting. So I want to make this as an effective use of your time as possible, a good investment of your time. I know you're a busy professional. So again, thank you for joining us today on Casting Your Marketing Net. And I'm going to get back into the presentation here. You might know this guy. You might have caught him there at the very beginning. This is Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump promised his buddy Bubba in the Army that they would go into the shrimp boat business together once they got out of the military. Well, Bubba didn't make it, and Forrest didn't really have the know-how. He had all the tools, but he didn't have the experience. So he didn't have a whole lot of luck until he got a little bit of experience, and a storm knocked the competition out of the way for him. And after that, he really started booming. He started reeling in the big catches. And I thought this was pretty appropriate because right now, a lot of advisors out there may have the tools, but not really have the know-how on how to utilize them to make an impact in their marketing and to prospect and to meet new clients. And right now, a lot of advisors who are in that boat are getting knocked out of the way. And we really need to get some experience in how to make an impact in this new world we are in. And I think that some of the competition is going to be knocked out of the way. Even successful advisors who have been in this business for a while are failing to adapt or failing to retool. And therefore, let's retool. Let's utilize the tools that we have available. Let's learn how to use them so we can really begin to haul in those big catches. If you're like really any successful advisor, your year probably started out with a marketing calendar that looked something like this, where you had all of your events planned out, mapped out, a full year worth of prospecting and getting in front of new faces, new people. And then we all know what happened. Coronavirus, COVID hit, and the marketing calendar ended up looking more like this. Canceled out all of the events, at least half a year. Really the majority of our income canceled, and the rest of the year really still in question. It did a number on us. Your face-to-face meetings got canceled. That's your livelihood. That's your income. Your dinner seminar presentation, college classes, educational events, those got canceled. Getting in front of new people, beginning to build that personal relationship got canceled. And really, half the year knocked out, the rest of the year in question. We could we could really say that 2020 might be the year that dinner seminars died. I know that a lot of people have for a long career been very successful in this area, but even if things miraculously reopened today, how likely are we to turn around the day after or the month after or the quarter after that and get large crowds who are agreeable to come in and mix with strangers to hear our presentations at a restaurant just for a free plate of food? But while seminars may have died, there is still marketing that thrived. Successful marketing still thrived. And I know that you've probably heard from your FMO, your IMO, what these solutions are. Virtual meetings, annual reviews, work your existing book of business, get referrals, do digital webinars, and online meetings and marketing. And all of those are great solutions, but the problem is that we're having to relearn the curve, and it's a frustrating process of trial and errors and errors and errors, because those social ad services, they were expensive and got low results. Digital webinars, a lot of no shows and very few, if any, appointments from them. Direct mail, yeah, it's still going out, but getting even lower response than it did before. Virtual appointments, do I know how to do this effectively? Do my clients even do this? Certainly, we've probably had more experience with this over the last 6 months or so, but it's still problematic. And for the average advisor who is a good, qualified financial professional, they might not be tech savvy to put on the show that a virtual meeting or these digital virtual webinars really require. And here's the problem with the done for you generic marketing. I love it. Done for you, turnkey. Those are great terms when we want to put the least effort in possible. But here's the problem I see, where you smack your logo on something, you insert your logo, your disclaimer here, and it's done for you, is that you're not one in a million, you're one of a million who is doing the same thing. And I can take your content and search it elsewhere, and I run into 50 different advisors with the exact same boilerplate marketing, and the space is just crowded. And for any successful financial advisor, we know that we are not in the business of selling a widget or even selling products. We are in the relationship business. We sell ourselves. Just like each client is unique and individual, so is each advisor. And that's why that relationship works, is the client is attracted to you as a person. Your business, your brand, your style is based on your personality, your solutions. That's what generates your income. The secret ingredient in most turnkey boilerplate marketing, it's missing. It's you. And that's why creating your radio broadcast or a podcast helps to highlight these things, helps to convey your message and your personality. The way that in this digital world, social media marketing just doesn't do it. Social media is still socially distanced. There's still a space between me and my prospect and my ideal client in a way that being face-to-face, it is far superior. Social media is great, but we're comfortable arguing with strangers over social media because of that space, because of that distance. It is still socially distanced. Successful marketing, again, it puts you in front of people. It begins to build that relationship. And again, when dinner seminars and educational events stopped, radio did not stop. It continued to speak one-on-one with productive people in their travels, in their daily routine, as they're alone with themselves and their thoughts and the voice on the radio in their cars. Podcasting did not stop working. People are actively out seeking information. They're active, they're responsive, they're receptive. They're the ones you're looking for. Effective marketing did not stop. It did not stop working. Internet, radio, video, print did not stop working. And in fact, media has shifted during the coronavirus and COVID pandemic. 87% of consumers are consuming more media. That's according to the GWI coronavirus research, 87%. are saying they are consuming more media. Online media especially is spiking. Radio, podcast, the smart assistant, smart speakers, they're all up in sales and in consumption. Traditional terrestrial radio is still reaching more than 90% of the working American public on a weekly basis. And 43% of consumers say that it's reassuring to hear from a brand that they trust through these forms of media, even if it's advertising on radio. It builds credibility. It gives the consumers reassurance. It says that you're open, that you're there, that you're available. It gives them comfort knowing that they do have a resource that is still there, and confidence in your brand. So there is opportunity there for effective marketing. We just need to know how to reach our clients or our ideal prospects. And broadcasting and podcasting perhaps is the single most effective tool to create and amplify your brand and your marketing message. Whether through virtual meetings, those annual reviews, working your existing book of business, getting referrals, digital webinars, online marketing, a radio program or a podcast can help elevate, boost, amplify exponentially all of these additional marketing efforts. But how? How does that work? Well, we take care of a lot of it for you. Again, I hate the term turnkey or any kind of boilerplate, but we take care of the heavy lifting. Our job is to minimize the time commitment that it takes for you to have a professionally polished, quality sounding radio program that is effective, that conveys your message, your brand, that is responsive, that does have a call to action for clients and potential clients, prospects, to reach out, be responsive, and get in touch with you and continue furthering that relationship. So if you're looking for a broadcast AM, FM radio program, we'll help scout the market, the station selection, the time selection. We'll help negotiate the air costs. Now, with radio stations, there are associated costs there. It is a little more expensive because you are purchasing access to their existing listenership, their audience, their fan base. You have a pre-existing audience, and stations charge to gain access to that audience. But there is absolutely, you cannot overlook the credibility factor, the celebrity factor, and you have a local, loyal audience that is there. On the other hand, podcasting is more cost effective. We eliminate the cost of the radio station airtime. It is mobile. It's in the palm of your hand. It's on demand. It's repurposable. You're building an organic audience. So you are starting from listener number one, but you can quickly grow that audience, and they tend to be more receptive and responsive and more willing to share your message. It builds an air of referability with an organic audience building traction for you. And I'll explain a little bit about that. Cloning your ideal client is what we all want to do. But a lot of times that conversation goes something like, hey, I told my friend Billy about you. He said he needed a financial advisor, and he's going to call you real soon. And then you never hear from Billy. Well, how about the next time you have that conversation, you say something, well, how about this? Why don't you share my podcast or a link to my podcast with your friend Billy? And in fact, I'll send you the link to the podcast. What particular topic do you think Billy is most interested in or is having questions about? And I'll send you that episode to share with your friend Billy. How much more of a connection, how much more receptive do you think? How much more likely are you to eventually get in touch with the friend Billy over there, who's obviously got several $1 million stashed away and is trying to figure out what to do with it? So you're building up that organic audience, but they are more receptive, more responsive, and tend to have an echoic effect in growing that audience. It is more time efficient. With the broadcasting radio show, you've got to put in a certain amount of time. Again, our job is to minimize that time, but you can put in really a minimum amount of time, maybe an hour per month with the podcasting, and get a weekly episode that is timely, that is topical, that is call to action and responsive. You may be asking, hey, I've heard the term podcasting. I've even maybe listened to Joe Rogan or something, but really, what is podcasting? I guess at its core, it could be easily defined as a radio program online. It could be as simple as that, but really podcasting is content and information delivery, and it's much, much more than that. You can get your audience to listen, and after they listen, they can they can subscribe, they can get alerts that the next show is available. A podcast may just be audio. It may contain video. It can have citations to outside resources and references. It can have reports that are included and attached to it, backlinks to other resources. Podcasting is not just a radio show on the internet. That it truly just barely scratches the surface. It takes a radio program and turns it into a tangible resource that is on demand and accessible. That's truly what a podcast can do. The broadcasting process, again, we try to make it easy. We take care of a lot of steps from the station scouting, negotiating prices, securing the time slot, ordering the equipment. We provide a weekly set of show notes and weekly reports. We do the recording, the editing, the imaging, the producing, compliance approval. We'll get it as far along in that process as possible for you on your behalf, deliver it to the station, and help you with the tracking of results. Everything's done for you except for you, your part. Because again, this is unique, it's individual, it's branded to you. This is your program. We have the ability to plug you into a national product. If you just want to have your commercial running within a national show or have a highlight segment within a pre-done program, we can absolutely do that. But really the goal is to highlight you and your brand. And even if you don't think you have the personality or the voice for radio, I encourage you to give it a try. You might be surprised. Podcasting, the process is very similar, but it's online again. So we're building out the podcasting pages. We're building the website widgets for you. We're linking to your social profiles to help promote the program. We're ordering equipment. You don't have to do this to start out, but we do encourage you eventually to get a professional studio equipment package. It's under a $700 investment to sound like you are in the recording studio, a polished radio professional, along with, of course, the qualified financial professional that you are. We provide those weekly show notes, monthly recording. We post it for you. We give you content to promote it on your social media platforms, and we give you ongoing coaching to build that audience. The website component, again, you get a website widget. We'll build that out for you. We'll work with your website developer to put that and post that up on your website, and then it updates automatically. And this is important because if I may have come across you, however it is, I've met you in person. I went to visit your website. I searched for financial advisor near me, and hey, you actually popped up close to the top. By the way, having a radio program will dramatically help to increase your SEO, your search engine optimization. It will move you up toward the top of those search ranks. But say you were already doing a reasonable job of that. You were up toward the top. I came across you. If I visited your website once, I consumed the information there. I came back. I visited twice, and the information has not changed. There's nothing new. There's nothing updated. I come back maybe a third time. There's no motivation for me to re-traffic your site, to revisit. With a weekly podcast being updated, there's new information there every week. There is a reason for me to re-traffic your website, which again, more visitors raises you up on the search rankings. It's going to help you with your SEO and to be found by more. We will also help you with your social media platforms, creating the content for you to put out on the major social media platforms. And if you don't have these, we can help to build them out for you. We can even help to actually do the posting. If you've got a service that's already doing some posting for you, we are congruent and complementary with all of those. And what better way to put your unique individual brand into that content that is being posted than to have your voice there, to have it be your program, to have it be your unique original content. So if you're doing a great job on social media, this will help to improve it. If you've got a third party handling it for you, this will work to boost that. If you're not doing it, we can get you started there. But this is a big part and component because the consumer is online these days. The buying decision is made online, and this is the way for your ideal client who may be on one of these social media platforms to to like, to interact, to make a comment, to share your information with their own circle of influence. That's where the way you exponentially increase and multiply your audience is that your ideal consumer, your existing connection through social media, then shares it with their respective connections. So this is an important part of that process. And third leg is that we get you out on all the podcasting platforms. If somebody's searching for information on a particular topic, they can find you there on iTunes, on iHeart, on SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, the Google Play Store, and as a result, on the voice-activated smart devices. The Siris, the Alexas are going to know you by name, be able to recognize you and pull you up. I love walking into somebody's house and yelling at Siri to play the Richon Planning podcast, or saying, "Hey, Alexa, subscribe to the podcast," and they respond and they do it for you automatically. So it's pretty neat that those devices that more and more popular, they recognize who you are. They know you. There's a credibility factor in that. Again, we create some of the content for you to promote your podcast or your broadcast program on those social media platforms. We'll work to create a good look for you, feature you. Some video component behind the podcast can be included, and so content to be posted to promote your program. And that way your marketing's not just present, it's omnipresent. You're literally everywhere. You've got audio, you've got video, you've got digital, you've got print, you're on air, and your program is just the center of this. Even if you are already doing a radio program, if you are not completely satisfied with the results you're getting, or you feel like you could get more, I encourage you to get in touch. We'll make sure you're doing the most here, because the problem with the radio program is that it's intangible. You are buying air time. And once that program is off air, if that ideal client was not in their car listening, tuned in at that moment, you have missed them with those marketing dollars and your chance to make an impact. So podcasting, again, is about content delivery and taking that airtime and making it tangible. So your program is the epicenter of your marketing, but it's repurposable. You use it to create newsletters and include it in the newsletters, in email blasts. You transcribe it. By the way, you can use those transcripts to compile and eventually write a book. We've had several advisors who have done that. Use it in client updates, consumer reports, and again, working it through your social media, inviting your connections, your clients to your business page where this content is promoted, and they've got the chance to respond and interact, and therefore their respective connections get to see what you have going on. It's amplified marketing. You exponentially increase the reach of your program by utilizing the repurposing of your program. Again, if you're already doing a radio show, feel like you're not getting the best results out of it, you'd like more, be in touch, and we are happy to speak with you about how maybe you could repurpose it, reuse it, amplify its effect. Again, we want you to sound like a professional. Now, not necessary to get started, but if you are doing this and see yourself doing it for a long term, and I, again, highly suggest it. I do suggest that you also invest minimum amount. It's about $700. You could sound like you're in, the studio with the golden microphone. You sound like you are a recording audio professional. Not that expensive. We provide reports. We provide weekly show notes. We provide all the ideas and concepts to map out your route, to have a professional production, to make you sound not only like the knowledgeable financial professional that you are, but like a seasoned radio pro. And it is just notes. It's an outline. It is not a script, because after the program is over, people may remember that you sounded knowledgeable, but they're not going to remember stats and numbers and figures that you gave. They're probably not going to remember a lot of intricate strategies that you discussed. They're going to remember if you sounded likable and genuine. And when you're reading a script, it's very hard to sound likable and genuine. So we provide notes each week. It's an outline of ideas on how to approach a topic. And then we work with you through hosting of the program to interact and bring the conversation along to give you the most effective program possible. We include leading industry experts. We'll do the interviews and then work them right into your program. Had a lot of names that you may know: Tom Hegna, Ed Slott, Jamie Hopkins, David Gaylor, people who are known within the industry who can give insightful information, perspective onto financial and retirement related topics, and who may be known names by the general public. Again, increasing your credibility, being associated, name association there, and their information becomes your information when they're included in your podcast. So you've got options here. You can do the broadcast program, AM, FM radio, be the radio star, or the new younger sibling, but growing quickly. And I think this is going to be, when all is said and done and they're grown up, possibly the bigger of the two siblings, certainly increasing in popularity because of its on-demand nature. It's there in the palm of my hand. I can go from my car to my house on my jog and continue listening. The podcasting really is catching on. The traditional radio show certainly has its merits, has tangible benefits, is effective. It is increasingly difficult, and it is pricey. So before you get started, before you make any commitment here, we shop around your market. We let you know what's out there and available. How much is it potentially going to cost you? What is the total financial commitment? Let's find all that out. Let's get that on the table before you make any kind of commitment on doing an AM, FM broadcast radio show. And a lot of times we can negotiate the price down, but we'll produce the program for you, get you a high quality product, take it from A to Z. And again, the only missing ingredient really is you. The time commitment from you is the time to fill that weekly radio show slot. Podcasting, take care of all the behind the scenes, the social media, the website widget, production, recording, editing, big voice guy, intro, outro, securities, disclaimers, links to your websites, the back end posting on your website, on the podcasting platforms, the social media content promotion, again, the show notes and reports. Other financial professionals are doing this. They know it works effectively. They're utilizing radio in almost every market across the country. And in fact, I would say if there is an available time slot, it's probably being taken by a high-level, successful advisor in your market. You do have options, though, and we'll help you through all of these. Really at, I think, what is a minimal cost for effective marketing. This may be the most effective, cost-effective way to make an immediate and measurable impact in your marketing that exists. You want a broadcast radio program, the cost is $12,000 for a full year of production and everything that I described. A to Z, just the weekly interviews from you, 1 year of radio production. It's $1,000 a month. It is billed monthly, eligible for reward points. If you've got available marketing dollars, those can cover those costs. We'll give you a minimum of 40 episodes. When we do find a highly effective program, we may rerun that on air from time to time. If it worked once, it'll work again the second time. You don't want to overdo it, so at least 40 episodes. And a lot of that depends on your schedule. We'll try to give you a new episode every week, but there's some flexibility there on your end. We do need to fill the time. So a minimum of 40 programs for a year's commitment. Again, it's paid monthly. The station airtime is not included. The station contracting is separate. So allow us to scout your market and let you know what kind of financial obligation you would have if you got into this. Podcasting, more cost-effective, more time-effective, building the audience from day one. The platform, the production cost is the same. It's $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. Think about this, folks. If you podcast a brand new podcast episode, 1 episode a week, all year long, and you wrote 1 or 2 new clients, you pay for that production cost. If you're putting out a weekly program, topical, timely, responsive on subjects that matter to your clients and are productive to your business, if you're doing that every week for a year, you think you could write, an additional $200,000 to $600,000 in premium, or gather $1 million in AUM. I think it'd be very easy. That's the way that I've conducted my business for better part of 15 years. You get the additional online promotion, 4 monthly episodes. Again, you can cover the cost of that production through reward points. If you are producing, if you got those marketing dollars available, use those. And if you are doing both the radio broadcast and would like to repurpose it for the podcast, we will give you a 50% discount on the behind the scenes promotion for turning your radio show into that podcast. Here's the deal. Everybody likes a bundle there. So 50% off if you do both. And then if you want to get your feet wet, if you want to put your toes in the water and test it out, for $1,000, we will produce 5 episodes, 5 15 to 20 minute podcast episodes for you to get a feel for what this feels like, what this looks like, how you can utilize it. We'll submit it to SoundCloud, get you a website widget so you can include those on your website. 1 promotional video to help promote the fact that you have these podcasts. We'll produce that for you and help you create the content for digital distribution and delivery to your social media. And we'll do that for $1,000 for the 5 episodes. If you'd like to try it out, we could even do a trial podcast for you. And I said at the beginning, hey, let's wait till the end for a special offer. But if you'd like to try out 1 edition of a podcast, a get to know you podcast, maybe an intro to your services and your company podcast, give us a call. We can set that up for an intro trial run. You can see how it works, what it's all about. We'll talk to you more one-on-one about what a podcasting program would mean for you. I hope this was an effective use of your time. I hope you found some value in this, and I hope to speak with you soon. I really genuinely am convinced, I know with certainty, that radio broadcasting or podcasting is absolutely one of the most effective and cost-effective ways to make an immediate impact in your marketing efforts. And I want you to experience that too. I want you to have a passion for radio that I have. And I'd love to talk to you about it. If you're new to this, if you want to get started with a radio program or a podcast program, or if you've been doing a radio show for a while and just want to see if you're doing everything to make the most of it, give us a call, 919-300-5886, 919-300-5886. You can visit online, richonmedia.com, richonmedia.com. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you, helping any way I can. I genuinely feel that radio broadcasting and now podcasting is a great way for not just financial advisors, any qualified professional in a relationship business to make an impact, to expose their message and their value to potential clients. And I want you to see that value as well. So give us a call, be in touch. Love to hear from you, have a discussion about it. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. 919-300-5886, richonmedia.com. Peter Richon here. Looking forward to speaking with you. Take care.